Do you also often take notes on your iPad, but feel like you're not using all the features? In today's video, I'll help you fully master GoodNotes so you can use it smoothly, from beginner to advanced. In the next video, I'll introduce a complete Notability tutorial so you can clearly understand and compare these two excellent note-taking apps. Stay tuned. Now, let's jump into the GoodNotes tutorial. First, when we open GoodNotes, this is the interface we see. Here is where you create new items, and here are the folders and notebooks we've already created. We can sort folders and notebooks by creation time, by name, or by file type. When sorting by type, folders are grouped with folders, and notebooks with notebooks. On the right side is the display mode for files. You can choose a list view or a thumbnail view. Next is file selection. Tap this icon to select multiple files. When we select folders, we can export, move, and delete them. Tap again to deselect. When we select notebooks, there's one more option, duplicate. For example, if we tap duplicate, a second copy of the notebook appears. We can move a notebook into any subfolder. For instance, I'll move it into folder 2, and then I can find the notebook inside folder 2. We can also move it back out to another folder or to the home page. In that case, it disappears from folder 2 and shows up on home again. Of course, we can delete these duplicate files. If you accidentally delete something, go to Settings, Trash to find it and restore it. After restoring, you'll see it again on Home. At the top left of Home is Backup and Sync. If we tap this icon, we can see sync information. Tap Settings to see whether iCloud Sync is enabled. A benefit of iCloud Sync is that we can access our notes on a Mac or iPhone. We can also back up notes manually or set up automatic backup to other platforms. After enabling auto backup, choose a destination, such as Dropbox. Just make sure you've successfully signed into your Dropbox account first. Next, let's look at everything under the New button. When we tap New, we see New Notebook, Study Set, Folder, Import Image, Scan Documents, Take Photo, Import File like PDFs or Notebook Templates, plus Quick Note and Quick Recording. First, let's create a folder. After creating it, give it a name, say, Folder 3. Then we can choose a color for the folder. Let's pick purple. We can also choose from lots of fun icons. I'll pick this smiley icon. We can drag files directly into a folder, and we can even drag a folder into another folder, or move it back out. Next, let's see how to create a notebook. Tap the plus icon, choose New Notebook, and you'll see cover styles and paper styles, plus name, size, and color. First, we decide the paper size or template orientation, landscape or portrait. Landscape is better when your iPad is placed horizontally. Portrait better matches typical handwriting habits. There are many sizes, like A3, A4, and more below. Usually we'll choose the default size, then pick a nice cover. There are many interesting covers below, and you can also import your own custom cover. For now, let's choose a math style cover. Next is the paper style. You can choose many colors. The defaults are light yellow, white, and black, but you can customize colors. Under background color, choose more colors, or tap the dashed box here to add additional colors. If we pick a random color, it gets added to the color options, and we can drag colors to reorder them. For now, we'll keep the default paper color as white, then choose a paper background design. There are many built-in designs like graph or grid or ruled lines. You can also import your own backgrounds, or use templates shared by others. There are additional defaults like calendar pages, and you can even go into the market to purchase paper templates. At the very bottom there are music staff templates as well. Then give the file a name. Let's name it Paperless Lab and tap Create to successfully create a new note. The first page on Home is the cover, followed by the note pages. Because the page is zoomed out, I can single tap twice to quickly zoom in on the paper, single tap twice again to quickly zoom back out. What happens if I double tap with 2 fingers? Let's draw a curve first, then double tap with 2 fingers. It undoes. Now let's look at the 3 icons at the top: handwriting input, keyboard input, and sound recording. We'll start with handwriting input. If I turn off handwriting input, my pencil can't write, it only drags the canvas. When I turn it back on, I can write normally. The handwriting toolbar has many tools: pen, pencil, highlighter, tape, eraser, lasso, shapes, stickers, sticky notes, insert image, text, ruler, magnifier, plus laser pointer and timer. The icons on the right side are the settings for each tool on the left. First, the pen. Tap it and you'll see different pen types. fountain pen, ball pen, and brush. The fountain pen has many settings, the ball pen has just this one set, the brush has a few more options. Overall, their settings are largely similar. Let's look at the fountain pen. You can set the nib. Here's how different nib settings look. If I set it to the maximum, the stroke looks like this. If I set it to the minimum, it looks like this. Can you see the difference? Next is pressure sensitivity. If I set it to the lowest, my strokes look like this. At the highest, they look like this. The higher the pressure sensitivity, the more obvious the thickness variation. Next is pen rotation. If I set it to the lowest, strokes look like this. If I raise the rotation, they look like this. You can clearly feel the nib isn't a circle, it behaves like a rotated, flattened tip. Next is stabilization. If it's at the lowest, drawing a circle looks like this. If I increase stabilization, the circle becomes cleaner and less shaky. Now let's look at pen settings. There's react to pen rotation, adjust thickness by speed, reduce latency, and draw and hold to snap. This last one is very important. If it's on, when we draw a circle and hold at the end, it automatically snaps to a perfect circle. The same works for rectangles, straight lines, curves, and so on. If you turn it off, shapes won't be auto-corrected. There's also fill color. When it's on, drawing a shape will auto-fill it with color. There are pen gestures. If enabled, this, scribbling over handwriting or even typed text quickly deletes it. If disabled, scribbling won't delete anything. There's also writing aids, which can check spelling. Next is a very practical math assist feature. For example, I write a simple math expression and pause briefly. You'll see something change here. Tap the expression and you'll see options like solve, edit, copy, convert, etc. Let's try solve. When we select solve, the expression is evaluated and the answer is shown. Let's try another expression. When we tap convert, it converts it into text format. Next is the ball pen. Function-wise, it's not significantly different from the fountain pen. The settings are basically the same. The brush settings are similar too, but the pressure-based variation is a bit more noticeable. Now let's compare all three pens to see the difference. The fountain pen looks like this. There's variation in thickness and angle. The ballpoint looks like this. No variation in stroke. The brush shows thickness variation, and the pressure effect is more pronounced. Each pen can have different sizes. You can choose from defaults or adjust them to find exactly the size you want. You can also switch from solid to dashed lines. You can assign different colors. There are default colors, more color options, and if that's still not enough, you can add additional colors, or enter a color value directly, or use the eyedropper to pick a color. Newly added colors are stored in the palette and can be rearranged freely. There are a few other less important settings here as well. Next is the pencil. It works largely the same, different sizes and colors, with custom colors supported. Its texture looks rougher and lighter than the fountain pen, but it's great for quick sketches on iPad. For example, we can quickly sketch a cube. Next is the highlighter. You can choose different sizes and colors, set brush stabilization, and enable shape snapping. Let's draw a few lines to see. We can also keep layering color to build intensity from light to dark, so the highlighter is perfect for marking key points in text. Next is tape. Tape can have different widths and colors, and it helps us cover up sensitive information. For example, we can cover this handwritten text. There are also other settings here, like shape snapping. Now the very important eraser. We can select different sizes. Tap the eraser icon and you'll see precise erase, standard erase, and stroke erase. Let's look at the differences. Precise erase removes content very finely. Standard erase erases in small chunks at a time. Stroke erase removes the entire continuous stroke. There are also practical options, like erase highlighter only, so when erasing, it only removes highlights and not the ink. Erase tape only does the same for tape without touching other content. There's also clear page, which clears everything on the current page. Of course, you can also find clear page under page settings, with the same effect. Here I want to mention a shortcut related to the eraser. While using your current tool, double tap on Apple Pencil to quickly switch to the eraser, double tap again to switch back to the previous tool. If you're using Apple Pencil Pro, a light squeeze brings up a quick tool palette so you can switch tools quickly, whether to eraser or anything else. These two features are only supported by Apple's Pencil. The Apple Pencil Pro I'm using and the older Apple Pencil I've used before can be found via the links below. To enable these features, go to your iPad settings, Apple Pencil. In the first section, turn on Squeeze to show the toolbar. In the second, set double tap to quickly switch between the current tool and the eraser or choose another shortcut if you prefer. Next is the frequently used lasso tool. When we tap lasso, two options appear on the right, freeform and rectangle. When we use the lasso to loop around handwriting, we can freely move it around, super helpful for layout adjustments later. We can also change the color of selected handwriting. If we tap this icon, we can not only move it but also scale it, adjust its width like a text box to reflow lines, and even rotate it. We can cut, copy, paste, and delete. There are more options too. Send selection to front or back, convert to screenshot to save as an image to files or photos, or save as a sticker by adding it to a sticker set you've created so you can quickly insert it later via the stickers icon. We can also convert handwriting to text. GoodNotes recognizes handwriting very accurately and can convert it into cleaner typed text with one tap. Another powerful lasso feature is math conversion, which converts handwritten math formulas into text format to help you add complex equations more efficiently. Next is the Shapes tool. Again, you can choose different sizes and colors. Tap Shapes to see many settings. The key one is Fill Color. When it's on, drawing a shape will automatically fill it, and you don't need to long press to snap to a perfect shape. If you turn Fill off, perfect shapes won't be auto-filled. Next is Stickers. Tap it to see recently added stickers, which also appear in the right toolbar. You can choose different sticker categories. Pick any one to insert. You can scale and rotate, and insert more as needed. Next is Sticky Notes. Tap the icon and you'll see different shapes and colors on the right. Tap anywhere on the page to insert a sticky note. You can type on it. You can also edit it. If you make it small, it shows as a compact marker. Tap it to view details, and tap to expand. There are options to copy, delete, and more. Next is Insert Photo. Tap the icon and the right toolbar shows your photos. Insert any image and then scale or rotate it. Next is Text Input. Tap the icon and you'll see settings on the right. Choose font, size, alignment, color, etc. Tap any blank area to create a text box, and you can also handwrite to input text via handwriting to text. You can drag the text box like in Word, or cut or copy or delete it. An interesting feature here is Insert Link. Select the text and insert a link to another page, to another document, or to a specific URL. After setting it, tapping the text shows link options like Jump, Copy, and Settings. We can also change the text to a handwritten style font if we like. Next is the ruler. Tapping it brings up a virtual ruler on the page. You can pinch to enlarge it. Its scale will enlarge along with the page zoom. Tap the ruler to set a specific angle, like 90. You can also rotate it manually. You can switch the ruler's units to inches. Of course, you can use the ruler to draw straight lines more freely. Next is the magnifier. It's great for magnifying a specific area, and you can adjust the zoom level. For example, when we run out of space on the right while writing, we can use the magnifier to keep writing comfortably. Next is the laser pointer. It has two modes, a moving dot perfect for screen-recorded lectures, and a line mode. The last tool here is the timer, which helps with timing and also includes a stopwatch. Alright, that wraps up handwriting input. Next is keyboard input. We can type with the keyboard or handwrite and let it convert to text automatically. For text that's already there, we can select it and edit it just like in Word, change font, alignment, color, bold, and more. After selecting, there are additional options like Insert Link, Find, and Translate. The last input method is sound recording. It helps us record a teacher's or speaker's voice while also recording our note-taking process during class or a meeting. Let's turn on recording and write a few words. Now tap Stop and you'll see a new icon on the left. Tap it to view the recording file. In the middle of the toolbar you'll see recording controls like play, exit, back 10 seconds, and forward 10 seconds. Tap here to set playback speed, noise reduction, rename, and delete. Now let's try playing the recording. You can see the playback of how we wrote. On the far left there are two more icons, undo and redo. Undo reverses the last action, redo restores it. Next, tap this icon to see thumbnails of all pages, and we can edit pages there. For example, we can bookmark a page, then find it in the bookmarks section. The icon on the right is the outline. We can also do other page edits. For example, insert a blank page before the current one. The inserted page can use a newly chosen template, or we can import a file as a new page. We can also add a page after the current page, duplicate the page, or delete it. We can rotate a page, tap the rotated page to jump directly to it, and we can reorder pages. In the upper left there's another icon to choose whether the page thumbnails are displayed on the left or floating in the middle of the screen. If we choose left, it looks like this and won't interfere with writing on the right. We can also tap Edit here, then select specific pages to bulk duplicate, rotate, export, delete, or move. GoodNotes has a very powerful handwriting recognition and search feature. Tap the magnifying glass and enter paperless, and it quickly finds every page where we previously wrote paperless, helping us locate notes fast. There's also an AI document feature that can summarize the entire document, and we can ask questions about it. You can see it's already listed some suggested questions we might ask. For example, I'll ask it to summarize this document. Although this is just a GoodNotes teaching demo with not much content, it can still produce a basic summary. We just wait a moment to see its output. So if we're reading a document with a huge amount of information, this AI feature can quickly summarize key points and improve our efficiency. Next is page settings. As mentioned earlier, we can add pages, set templates, or import pages from elsewhere. We can also quickly bookmark the current page so it appears in the bookmarks list. This section is export. We can share a document link with collaborators so we can co-edit the document with friends, or directly export a specific page. There's also screen mirroring. If we export all pages, we can choose PDF, image, or GoodNotes formats. The GoodNotes format can be re-imported and edited in someone else's GoodNotes, while the PDF version can't be edited. We can also share via a link for collaborative editing. There are a few other settings here, such as whether to keep the background, and some other options for reference. There are also other actions we mentioned earlier, like copy page and rotate page. These were already covered in the thumbnails view. What we use most often is change template. If we're not satisfied with the current template, we can change it, like switching the background ruling or the color, and the paper will update accordingly. Note that if we swipe to the previous page, it doesn't change. The next page and those after it adopt the new template. There's go to page, clear page, and delete page. There's lock page. There's add comment. Here is page turning mode. If we used to flip left and right and add pages horizontally, switching to vertical means left-right page turning no longer applies. We'll flip and add pages vertically. This section is stylus settings. Tap to open. First is grip posture, then single finger pan, then sensitivity. There are settings for left-handed or right-handed writing. Choose the posture you use. If you usually write like this, pick the top option. If like that, pick the bottom. There are document settings, such as auto lock screen. There's status bar. If enabled, we can see iPad battery, Wi-Fi, etc. If disabled, we won't see those, but it leaves more canvas space. There's auto add pages, show page numbers, the page turning option we just discussed, and floating preview. Here is customize toolbar. We can remove tools we rarely use, add frequently used ones, and reorder them. We can set the toolbar to display at the bottom of the page or at the top. We can also move, undo, and redo icons to the left or right. Set it up however you prefer. Alright, that's the full walkthrough of page editing in GoodNotes. Now back on home, there's one more important feature to introduce. If we tap a file, we can see two documents side by side, and we can switch between two or more documents at any time. We can also drag another document out and snap it to split screen on the side, so we can work on two notebooks simultaneously. Grab the divider in the middle to adjust the size, or slide it away to dismiss. We can even split screen GoodNotes with other apps. There are also system settings, such as Manage Templates, where we can set up a custom default template. After that, when we create a new note or a quick note, it will automatically use the template we just created. There are other settings like document editing already covered, privacy, the stylus settings we discussed, document language, default handwriting recognition, writing aids, and some other less commonly used options. There's cloud backup, which we covered at the very beginning. There's the trash, where we'll often go to recover accidentally deleted files. There's the user manual, and other resources. On the far left are several sections. This is important favorite items. To add them, just star certain files or folders, and you'll find them in the favorite items. This is search, enter text that appears in a document's name to find all files and folders related to that text. Next is shared. Here we can find files we shared with others, or others shared with us. The last one is the market. Open it to find many professionally designed digital templates, including digital planners and note templates. Tap the top left icon to toggle the left sidebar open or closed. Alright, that's the complete guide to using GoodNotes. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. If GoodNotes gets new updates in the future, I'll keep making new tutorials in the next episode. A complete Notability tutorial. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye.